Hello, I'm Chris Hardaway. Welcome to The Best Times, a series that looks at life after 50. This program is about something we're all doing, getting older. By the year 2030, 1 in 5 Americans will be over 65, and that will present a unique set of challenges and opportunities. On this series, you'll meet people who are facing those challenges and seizing their opportunities to make the years ahead the best times. Our cover story tonight focuses on one individual who faced a medical dilemma, and the choices he made to solve his problem may surprise you. This is Willie Bearden. On his left forearm, below a long scar, there's a tattoo. Next to a cryptic phrase is the date January 17th, 2011. That's the day Willie had triple coronary bypass surgery in India. Willie Bearden is an independent filmmaker, writer, and musician. You may have seen his work on WKNO's popular Memphis Memoirs series. In 2010, Willie found out he needed bypass surgery, but he didn't have health insurance.
I could see my future if I had a heart attack here in Memphis and they had to take me to a hospital and they would do emergency surgery on me and hand me a bill for $275,000. Then all of a sudden, at 60 years old, then I'm bankrupt, and they take my house and my building or whatever. And I thought, this is unacceptable. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm not going to do that.
Willie put his research skills as a documentary filmmaker to work, investigating medical tourism. His explorations led him to Fortis Hospital in Bangalore, India, half a world away from home, family, and friends. Stuck between a rock and a hard place, Willie took a leap of faith.
There's no doubt about it. There was a huge leap of faith to get on that airplane and to fly 12,000 miles around to the other side of the world, to get this surgery done. People I had never seen before, people that I only talked to, via email, and a lot of people said, you're crazy for doing that. I just looked at my choices and I thought, weighing all of these choices I have, and they were all choices, my choice, what seems best for me? And I just had this feeling that it was going to be okay.
4 days after arriving in Bangalore, Willie underwent triple bypass surgery. From his own photos, you can see his arm, where the physicians harvested the graft material, and the long scar on his chest. Within 2 days after the surgery, Willie was up and walking, feeling better than he had in years.
A couple of days after that, I was just, I put my blue jeans on again, and I thought, okay, I'm alive, I'm good, I'm okay here. And I was so thankful to be in a place where people seemed to care about me and where people were really, really taking good care of me. I've been in hospitals here in the U.S., and I would say that the care I got in India was the best care I've ever gotten anywhere.
Willie spent 21 days in Bangalore. After his release from the hospital, he took plenty of vacation pictures. So how much did this medical vacation cost? All totaled, surgery, hospital stay, airfare, and hotel cost Willie $12,000.
About a 20th, I would say, of what it would have cost here, and would have surely put me into bankruptcy.
Medical tourism has been around for 10 to 15 years. Organizations like the Medical Tourism Association promote its benefits through its website and videos. It's estimated that just under 1 million Americans will seek treatment overseas this year, with projected growth rates of around 30% over the next decade. Dr. Manoj Jain is a local epidemiologist whose interest in medical tourism began when his father had a toothache.
And he needed a crown and root canal, and the estimate was it would cost him $2,000. Now he could afford it. It wasn't that he couldn't afford it, he could afford it. But he was going to India in the next month or two, and he decided to wait. And he went to India and had the same procedure done for $200.
Saving money is the chief motivating factor behind the decision to travel overseas for medical care. For example, A knee replacement that costs between $30,000 and $53,000 in the U.S. costs just $9,600 in Singapore. A spinal fusion in America is $41,000, but if you travel to India, it's just $9,500. A facelift can cost up to $16,000 in the U.S. In Thailand, it's just $5,000. And if you need dentures, it'll set you back $5,000 here in the States. But if you take a vacation to Costa Rica, it's just $1,600. These figures don't include travel costs, but taking a medical vacation can cost between 30 and 90% less than getting treatment here at home. It's outsourcing your medical care.
I was looking at $250,000 here or $9,000 here. And so there was really no choice. I mean, I had the $9,000. I could do it. It wouldn't be a big setback to me. So yeah, it's free enterprise at its best.
There are 28 countries on 4 continents that cater to medical tourists, and each one focuses on specific medical procedures. For orthopedics or cardiology, go to India. Need dental work? Try Mexico or Hungary. How about a facelift in Brazil or South Africa? Need multiple procedures performed? Go to Thailand, where Bumrungrad International Hospital treats over 25,000 Americans every year. But how are these hospitals able to offer surgical procedures and medical treatments at prices up to 90% less than facilities in the U.S.?
Multiple factors. One is obvious that labor is cheaper overseas. Also, they've made surgery very process-oriented, and they will do it in bulk. And so that has reduced their cost as well. They don't have to deal with third-party insurance. They don't have to deal with malpractice in the way that many people have to deal with here. So that overhead of administration that costs a lot of money here doesn't happen over there. And it's also cherry-picking only those procedures which will be profitable for overseas hospitals.
Low cost is one thing, but how about the quality of care? Let's face it, in some of these countries you're told not to drink the water. So can you trust the quality of medical care delivered in India or Malaysia or Brazil?
I have gone to many of these hospitals and I'm quite impressed. The level of quality is fairly high, and these hospitals are certified by the same organization that certifies hospitals here.
So the price is right, and as a medical tourist and a cash-paying customer, you'll get VIP treatment. But there's still a cultural and emotional hurdle to overcome. Are you prepared to travel far from home and family to a country where English may not be the first language?
There's a cultural barrier. Yeah, there's certainly different people, different cultures, different religions. All of that comes into play.
Yeah, I think had the country not been an English-speaking country, I would have been a bit concerned with that.
I believe the greatest barrier is not having your family there if you're not with family. And that can be a scary experience, especially if you're undergoing a huge surgery like bypass surgery.
There are other legal and medical considerations for the potential medical tourist to consider. The American Medical Association has published this list of 9 guidelines to help patients determine if they should travel overseas for medical treatment. Don't be shy to discuss this topic with your personal physicians. You may be surprised at their level of knowledge and cooperation. But as Dr. Jane and Willie Bearden will attest, there's no substitute for doing your homework.
You've got to definitely do your homework. Talk to the physician over there, talk to the administrators, and call up there's a Medical Tourism Association and make sure that that hospital is appropriate.
Willie's story is just one example of thousands of middle-class Americans who fall through the cracks in our healthcare system. People between age 50 and 64 who find themselves without insurance or underinsured and are faced with a medical crisis.
And they're just praying that they don't get sick. They're praying that they don't have an accident. They're praying that something, doesn't happen to their family, a catastrophic illness. Because, you're just at the mercy of the system when that happens. And you talk about falling through the cracks. When you fall through that crack, That's the big crack. You splat on the sidewalk when you fall through that crack.
What we see is those individuals between the age of 50 and 64 before they can get Medicare. Lack of insurance leads to about 15 to 30,000 deaths every year. But if Willie, for example, decided not to get bypass surgery, his chance of survival would have been significantly lower than with bypass surgery. And imagine if there are many Willies out there, and those are the ones who die. And that's where our system breaks down for those who don't have insurance.
The politics of healthcare and medical reality are often two divergent branches of the same tree. Medical tourism, whether it's voluntary or, as in Willie's case, a matter of life and death, is still a limited phenomenon. But some insurance companies in America are beginning to offer their clients overseas options. Even they can't ignore the financial incentives. Dr. Jane sees lessons for our healthcare system that can be learned from the value-based systems in these foreign countries.
We can learn how other countries and other hospitals and institutions are able to decrease their cost, maintain the quality, and provide that value healthcare. And that's what it motivates me to be looking at these other institutions, is to say, how can I make healthcare better in America? Because I can see that other institutions are doing the same.
And for Willie Bearden too,
yeah, I mean,
there's a lesson learned.
Beyond there, I think you have to be creative in your thinking, and you have to be open enough to understand that there are good people all around this world that we live in, good human beings who will treat you right and who will help you out if you need some help.
You may be surprised to learn that medical tourism is a two-way street. By some estimates, 400,000 foreigners come to the U.S. every year for medical treatment. They're not bargain hunters. They're coming here for our cutting-edge medical technology that may not exist in their corner of the world. Remember that tattoo on Willie Bearden's forearm? Just below his scar, next to the date of his surgery, are two words written in Hindi: spare parts.